Good morning. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience, but it is also one of the most destructive if we allow it to control us. Fear whispers lies into our hearts, convincing us that we are not enough, that we will fail, that we are not worthy of love or success. It disguises itself as caution, as safety, as logic, but in truth, fear is a thief. It steals dreams before they can be born, it silences voices before they can be heard, and it paralyzes hearts before they can love freely. But here is the truth that changes everything. Fear cannot survive in the presence of love. Love is the most powerful force in existence. It breaks chains, it silences doubt, it lifts the heaviest burdens, and it restores confidence where fear once lived. When you choose love over fear, you are not denying your challenges. You are refusing to be controlled by them. Love does not erase fear instantly, but it transforms it. It takes that energy of anxiety and redirects it into courage. It takes the voice of self-doubt and answers it with truth. It takes your trembling hands and teaches them to build instead of hide. Every time fear rises up, you have a choice. You can allow it to dictate your life, or you can confront it with love. Love for yourself that says, I am worthy of trying even if I fail. Love for your future that says, I will not quit before I see what I am capable of. Love for the people who believe in you and need you to rise higher. Love transforms fear because it gives you something bigger to fight for. Fear is self-centered. It makes you focus only on your weaknesses, your limits, your insecurities. But love is outward. It makes you see possibilities, opportunities, and the strength that already lives inside you. When you operate from fear, you shrink. When you operate from love, you expand. Fear says hide. Love says shine. Fear says stop. Love says keep going. Fear says you are not enough. Love says you are more than enough. And confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in love despite fear. You build confidence every time you choose to move forward, even while afraid. You silence anxiety every time you replace self-doubt with self-love. You rise above every challenge when you choose to trust love over fear. So the next time fear enters your mind, don't try to fight it with more fear. Don't try to bury it with denial. Instead, embrace it with love. Say to yourself, I may be afraid, but I am also loved. I may be uncertain, but I am capable. I may be doubting, but I am worthy. That truth will transform you. Fear thrives in the dark, but love is light. And the moment you bring love into the places fear lives, fear has no choice but to disappear. Today, make the choice to transform fear into love, anxiety into trust, and doubt into confidence. Because when love becomes your foundation, fear can no longer be your prison. You are created to shine, to rise, to live boldly, and love is the key that unlocks it all. Fear is a natural part of the human experience, but when left unchecked, it becomes a silent dictator that controls decisions, limits dreams, and destroys confidence. Fear speaks in whispers, yet those whispers grow into storms inside the mind. It tells you that you are not strong enough, not talented enough, not worthy enough to chase your dreams. It convinces you to stay small, to avoid risk, to remain trapped in the comfort zone, even when your soul is begging to grow. Fear disguises itself as protection, but what it really offers is a cage. The first step in overcoming fear is to recognize that it is not a reflection of reality. It is a reflection of your perception. Fear paints illusions of failure before you even try, and those illusions keep you from discovering your true potential. The moment you realize fear is nothing more than a story you are telling yourself, you reclaim the power to rewrite that story with love. Love, unlike fear, does not limit you, it expands you. Love whispers a different narrative, that you are capable, that you are chosen, that you are built for more than survival. You are built for greatness. The truth is, fear and love cannot occupy the same space at the same time. When you feed fear, love withers. When you feed love, fear weakens. Fear thrives when you dwell on everything that could go wrong. Love thrives when you focus on everything that could go right. This is why the greatest transformation begins with perspective. You can look at the future with dread, or you can look at it with hope. You can let anxiety paralyze you, or you can let love energize you. Love does not eliminate every challenge, but it changes how you face them. When you approach life with fear, you see obstacles. When you approach life with love, you see opportunities. The same situation, the same mountain, the same storm, yet your mindset determines whether you shrink or whether you rise. The first key to transforming fear into love is awareness. You must become conscious of the way fear is shaping your life. Too often fear hides behind excuses. I'm not ready yet. It's not the right time. I'll try later. These excuses feel safe, but in truth, they are fear wearing a mask. Ask yourself honestly, how many dreams have you delayed because of fear? How many opportunities have you walked away from because doubt was louder than desire? How many times have you settled for less than you deserved because fear convinced you that you couldn't handle more? Becoming aware of the lies fear tells you is the beginning of liberation. Love steps in and speaks truth. You will never feel completely ready, but you are capable now. You may not know everything, but you can learn. You may stumble, but you will rise stronger. Awareness turns the spotlight on fear, and once fear is exposed, it begins to lose its power. Fear thrives in the shadows of secrecy, but love shines light into those shadows. The moment you admit to yourself, yes, I am afraid, you also create the possibility to say, and yet I choose love.
Choosing love is not ignoring fear. It is deciding that love is stronger. It is deciding that your purpose is greater than your pain, your dreams are worth the risk, and your growth is worth the discomfort. Every time you choose love, you build courage, and courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite fear. Courage is the bridge between fear and love. Each step you take across that bridge strengthens your confidence. Each time you refuse to let fear stop you, you train your mind and heart to trust love more deeply. The power of love lies in its ability to redefine the very story fear tells. Fear says, what if you fail? Love answers, what if you succeed? Fear says, what if they reject you? Love answers, what if they accept you? And even if they don't, you are still enough. Fear says, you can't handle this. Love answers, you were made for this. Fear focuses on scarcity, what you lack, what could go wrong, what might be lost. Love focuses on abundance, what you already have, what could go right, and what you will gain in the process. The shift from fear to love is not a one-time decision, it is a daily practice. Each morning you wake up, you must choose whether to fuel fear with your thoughts or to fuel love with your faith. And every day you choose love, your inner world grows stronger, calmer, and more confident. At its core, love is not just an emotion, it is a commitment. It is the commitment to see yourself with kindness instead of criticism, to speak truth to yourself instead of lies, to honor your worth instead of doubting it. Fear strips away confidence, but love restores it. When you treat yourself with love, fear loses its grip. You begin to believe that you are worthy of success, worthy of joy, worthy of peace. This belief becomes the foundation of unshakable confidence. Confidence is not arrogance, it is simply the quiet assurance that love is greater than fear, that your purpose is greater than your doubts, and that your life is greater than your mistakes. Overcoming fear with love is about replacing self-judgment with self-acceptance. Fear thrives on reminding you of your past failures, your insecurities, your flaws. It tells you that you are unqualified, unprepared, undeserving. But love speaks louder. You are growing, you are learning, you are more than your failures. When you begin to see your imperfections not as limitations, but as part of your unique design, you transform insecurity into authenticity. And authenticity is the birthplace of confidence. People who walk in authenticity walk in freedom because they are no longer chained by fear of judgment. They know that love validates them far more deeply than approval ever could. And so the first step in this journey is to become aware of fear's illusions and consciously replace them with love's truth. Recognize when fear is whispering lies and answer with love's certainty. Fear says you will fail, love says you will rise. Fear says you are weak, love says you are strong. Fear says you are alone, love says you are supported. This is not easy, and it does not happen overnight, but it is possible. Each time you confront fear with love, you grow stronger. Each time you take action in love instead of retreating in fear, you build confidence. Each time you choose to believe in yourself rather than doubt yourself, you take another step out of the prison of fear and into the freedom of love. Overcoming fear with love is learning to transform anxiety and self-doubt into unwavering confidence through the power of faith and trust. Anxiety is often born from the obsession with outcomes you cannot control. It is the constant what if that runs through your mind like an endless storm. What if I fail? What if I get rejected? What if I am not good enough? These questions eat away at your peace and trap you in a cycle of hesitation. But what anxiety never tells you is this: those outcomes are only possibilities, not certainties. And just as there is the possibility of failure, there is also the possibility of success, growth, and triumph. The difference lies in where you choose to place your focus. When you focus on fear, you drown in doubt. When you focus on love, you rise in faith. Faith is the antidote to anxiety because it shifts your gaze from what you cannot control to what you can. You cannot control every circumstance, every response, or every challenge, but you can control your perspective, your choices, and your energy. Love gives you the courage to believe in a future that fear cannot see, a future where you are more than enough, where every step you take matters, and where your growth is guaranteed. Self-doubt is one of fear's sharpest weapons. It whispers that you are inadequate, that you lack the ability to rise, that others are more deserving than you. It convinces you to shrink before you even stand, to retreat before you even try. But self-doubt cannot survive when you are rooted in love, because love affirms your worth regardless of circumstance. Love tells you that you were created with purpose, and that purpose is not determined by your mistakes, your past, or the opinions of others. Confidence grows when you shift your identity from someone who questions their worth to someone who embraces it. It is not about comparing yourself to others. It is about standing firm in who you are. True confidence is quiet and steady, built on the foundation of love that says, I am enough, I have what it takes, I will rise. Fear thrives on perfectionism. It tells you that unless you do everything flawlessly, you are not worthy of success or love. But perfection is an illusion. It is fear's trap to keep you paralyzed, always waiting, never moving. Love frees you from this trap by reminding you that progress is more important than perfection. Every step forward, no matter how small, is an act of courage. Every attempt, even if it ends in failure, is proof that you chose love over fear. Confidence is not built in the absence of failure. It is built in the presence of persistence. When you fall and rise again, when you face rejection and still keep going, when you choose to believe in your worth despite the outcome, that is when confidence becomes unshakable. Anxiety loses its grip when you learn to ground yourself in the present moment. Fear feeds on the future, on the unknown, the uncertainty, the things you cannot predict. Love anchors you in now. Right now you are breathing. Right now you are alive. Right now you have everything you need to take one more step forward. The present is where peace lives, and when you focus on the present, fear's hold begins to weaken. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, gratitude, and stillness are not just routines, they are weapons against fear. They remind you that while the future is uncertain, this moment is enough. And if this moment is enough, then you are enough. Transforming fear into love also means transforming your inner dialogue. The words you speak to yourself are seeds that either grow weeds of doubt or flowers of confidence. If every day you water your mind with I can't, I won't, I'm not, then fear will flourish. But if you replace those words with I can, I will, I am, then love begins to bloom. Affirmations are not just empty words, they are declarations of truth. When you declare love to yourself, when you affirm your worth, when you repeat words of courage daily, you rewire your mind to believe them. And belief is the birthplace of confidence. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not pretending you have no fear. It is choosing to act in love even while fear lingers in the background. It is the calm assurance that no matter what comes, you will rise. Confidence says, I may not know everything, but I can learn. Confidence says, I may not have all the answers, but I will find my way. Confidence says, I may be afraid, but I am stronger than this fear. This kind of confidence does not come from achievements or titles. It comes from love. Achievements can be lost, but love remains. Titles can be taken, but love sustains. When your confidence is rooted in love, it becomes unshakable because it is not built on external validation. It is built on the eternal truth of your worth. The conclusion is this: fear will always try to rise, but love will always be stronger. Anxiety may shout, but love whispers peace. Self-doubt may chain you, but love sets you free. Confidence is not a gift given to the lucky few. It is a power that is unlocked the moment you choose love over fear. Every day is a choice. You can choose to let fear dictate your steps, or you can choose to walk in love and claim the confidence that is already within you. Remember, fear creates prisons, but love builds wings. Fear says stay small, but love says expand. Fear says stop, but love says rise. And when you rise in love, fear no longer has a hold on you. You step into your destiny, not trembling, but empowered, not doubting, but confident, not anxious, but at peace. Love transforms everything it touches, and when it touches your fear, your entire life changes.